Welcome back to Main Street Living. We are back now with Jean Heller and another special guest.
That's right, Cheryl. In our last segment, we talked with accomplished journalist and author Jean Heller. She stuck around to tell us a little bit more about her investigation into the Tuskegee Experiment, and we'd also like to introduce filmmaker who's also worked to tell us Jean's story. So let's bring in Jean Heller. Hey there, Andrew. I see you there. How you doing there, Mr. Tyler?
How you doing, sir? Good to see both of you. All three of you, actually. Hey, Miss Jean.
Good. Well, great to see you. Talk with Jean a little bit. But how did you two meet, and what was it like when you realized you met the person who exposed the Tuskegee Experiment?
So I'm a real estate broker. I do remember, yeah. I'm a real estate broker by trade with Remax Enterprises, and the opposition to Miss Jean, I was working with a client, and we were looking to purchase her condo. We walk in, we go on a tour. Jean is in there, and she says, "Okay, you guys come in, check it out." And I started looking around, man. I was like, "Oh my God, what is?" And I thought I saw a statue of JFK, and I thought I saw a few accolades, and then I was like, and I looked on the wall, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm in somebody's apartment that's special. This condo, this home is off the hook." And I stopped the tour. I said, "Wait a minute, stop everything. Who are you?" And she points to the wall, and there's her article from the New York Times, and talking about the Tuskegee Experiment. I read it, and I almost dropped a Denzel Washington tear from glory. I was almost doing that. And I turned around and I looked at her and said, "Oh my God!" I said, "It's you."
Yeah.
And, of course, she's humble and very sweet. But I said, you're a national treasure. I said, I need to interview you.
That is so cool to hear. And it sounds like you obviously already knew about the story and the experiment. So what else did you learn from Jean?
You know what? I thought Tuskegee was more than just the experiment. I thought they were giving the men syphilis. And a lot of the rumors that came in with the government, especially back in during the Depression, all the way up through Reaganomics and the rest of it, a lot of experiments from the Trail of Tears all the way up to Tuskegee. And she helped me to understand and clarify. And at the time I was in film school, and I said, "Oh my God," I said, I'd love to interview you. And she graciously said yes. And I learned about the men weren't given syphilis. And while there may have been mercury treatments, I'm not sure, in accordance with the movie, Miss Evers Boys, we talked about that because I thought they were given mercury and it just mistreated very foully. And she clarified and cleared up a bunch of the stuff that she found out about, even to the point of going down to Tuskegee and talking with the men and growing relationships with them.
Yeah.
And this is a white-black thing in that era now. So Can they trust a white woman? And she was able to go down there, and after they had been crapped on and experimented on, she was able to go down there and they embraced her and loved on her, and she was able to interview some of the men. So I really appreciate that.
Now, Jean, I'm going to piggyback on something that Andrew was talking about, how the stories like Tuskegee help explain the hesitancy of African Americans like myself and Andrew, and also people of color, like how we can actually trust the system, like right now during the COVID vaccine.
I think it's more than just Tuskegee. I think there is a history of underserved communities, most of them people of color, in pretty much every area you could think of, and medical treatment, food, banking. You go through poorer neighborhoods, and you just don't see a first line grocery store. You don't see a medical clinic. You don't see a bank of any status. It was a horrific continuation of something that has been and continues to be a problem. As far as COVID is concerned, if we're not that far removed from the memory of Tuskegee,
True,
because there's been so much written about it and so much talked about it, especially now.
Gotcha.
That people know about it, and if they had been treated this way all their lives, why should they trust any part of the white establishment now to tell them the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough.
I would feel that way.
Gotcha.
I mean, I know it's definitely a lot to think about there. Andrew, I want to go back to you. You know, when you read this story, were you surprised to find out that the author was white?
You know what? I was. I was. And in fact, the mindset behind it on what Miss Jean is saying about trust. You have to remember, these were, while the head of the that medical administration may have been white, the people that were administering and not letting the people get the treatments were black. That was a black nurse. And even on television,
but the doctors were all white.
Yes, but the nurse that they trusted was an African American woman, and it parallels with the vaccine today. When we saw I can't think of the doctor's name, but it was a black woman that said, "Trust this vaccine," in our era. So it kind of parallels in a sense. And it's not necessarily about me not wanting to take the vaccine. It's just, can I trust it? What are the side effects? Who's the guinea pig this time? And that's kind of how I feel.
Call me later and I'll tell you what the side effects are.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I know she took it. I
just got my second one on Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I really do. I mean, to get COVID under control, and I totally get what you guys are saying.
I don't think I'm glowing in the dark. I don't think I'm glowing in the dark, but
you look just fine. You look just fine.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, you're a filmmaker, okay? And you've put together a short documentary that's featuring Jean here. Where can people see that if they wanted to see or hear more about this particular experiment and that documentary?
So it's at tylermanfilms.com, and that's tylermanfilms.com. It's Miss Jean and I just having a conversation about what took place. It's an 18-minute video. I actually put, and Miss Jean, you'll love this, I put Black History with Jean Heller. So that's cute. You're gonna love that. And, so, I own a digital media and film company. We've made movies running on Faith, 18 Days. I've just completed Dark of the Day, a feature film. And I also work with Unity Partnership. It's a company that bridges the gap between the police and the community.
That's good.
And I make videos for I've made videos for the Loud Police Department and Woodridge Police Department for training. And Lord willing, we'll be in a better place of trust with the vaccine after people see this video, again, at tylermanfilms.com.
That is awesome.
Yeah, because she really goes in. She talks about everything. There's a part in it where she talks about Ebony and Jet magazine and how she was treated, and taken aback because they asked her, "Why do you care? As a white woman, why do you even care about Tuskegee?"
Yeah,
I heard her say that. I thought it was the most powerful thing I had ever heard. And she said, "I should care. This was our government that was killing people."
Yeah, exactly.
What I actually said was, why shouldn't I care?
Right.
Yeah. I remember. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what you said.
In fact, the reporter, I don't remember if it was Jet or Ebony. The reporter said to me after about 10 minutes, he said, "You don't sound black."
Wow.
yeah.
And I said, "I'm not. I'm white." And he said, "Then why do you care?"
Yeah.
I think I said, "How in the hell could I not care?"
Exactly.
It devastated me.
Right. Everybody should care about this. It's why this is so important to talk about now. And Andrew, I want to go back quickly before we go. You also have a film festival I wanted to touch on.
Yes, it's the Tyler Man Film Festival hosted by Cantini Park in Wheaton, Illinois. It's August 28th and 29th this year. Right now we do allow seating, and we're going to have it virtually. So I have 3 theaters, 50 persons in each theater, spread out, so there's social distancing. And that's going to be amazing. I have over 20 films in thus far from filmmakers from all over the world. I have a woman from Nigeria via California, and she has a movie called Box. And it's the Henry Box story about a man who shipped himself to freedom. True story.
Wow.
Yeah, I know the story.
In the 1800s. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You guys. Wow. You guys are incredible. We
Yeah.
literally could talk to you both all day. I wish we had more time, but we are going to have to wrap it up. But such good information to talk about and bring this to light for people who may not be aware, but should be. So thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Get your shots.
Yes.
There you go. Get the shots. Gene, you are our hero. Thank you again to both of you and Andrew for joining us today on Main Street Living. And speaking of heroes, we certainly can't forget about those in healthcare who are risking lives day in, day out to keep us safe. So we'll elaborate on that a little bit more after the break.